Bienvenidos a un programa más de Lizi te responde y retos femeninos. Me da mucho gusto estar con ustedes. No, bueno, y gracias por seguirme, gracias por todos los saluditos que me mandan. Muchas gracias por las felicitaciones de mi cumpleaños. Me siento muy bendecida de poder compartir momentos muy especiales para mí con ustedes. Así como este espacio, como este programa donde siempre tengo la oportunidad, porque la vida me lo ha regalado y me siento súper bendecida también por eso, de conocer gente tan interesante y que la vida me pone a estas personas tan interesantes siempre para aprender una lección, para aprender algo nuevo. Y cuando algo nuevo llega a mi vida, que digo, esto va a ayudar muchísimo, bueno, pues lo que hago es compartirlo contigo. Así que muchas gracias por unirse. Díganme de dónde se están uniendo. Quiero decirles que el día de hoy tengo una invitada, sasazo, pero díganme ustedes de dónde se están uniendo. Porque mi invitado del día de hoy es un hombre increíblemente buena persona. De esas personas que yo pienso que nacen buenas y con una historia de vida bien interesante, tan diferente a la mía, seguramente a la tuya, y lo vas a escuchar de él, que es tan consciente y que ha hecho de su vida, de su proyecto de vida, algo que ayuda a crear conciencia en el mundo. Y esto para mí es admirable, por eso me siento profundamente honrada de entrevistar el día de hoy a un hombre maravilloso que se llama Steffens, y esta entrevista la voy a hacer. Y bueno, pues déjenme decirles que más que platicarles, él lo va a hacer con ustedes, de lo más importante, de lo básico, de algo súper básico y fundamental en la vida, que es la respiración. O sea, gracias a que respiramos estamos vivos, mis queridas amigas y amigos. Y gracias a que respiramos, pues podemos como llenar nuestro cuerpo de nutrientes y de vida. Entonces, Travis es un experto en respiración, y no solamente es un experto en respiración, y es un maestro que enseña a muchísimas personas a respirar, porque la respiración, aprender a respirar te cambia la vida. O sea, mejora tu salud en todos los sentidos, tu salud física, tu salud mental, tu salud emocional, reconectarte con partes de ti que a lo mejor ni entendías, sanar enfermedades. Bueno, Travis nos va a decir todo esto, pero bueno, ya tenemos aquí a este ser humano maravilloso, a quien le voy a dar la bienvenida, a todo nuestro público en México, a todas las personas de habla hispana que me siguen. Les presento a Travis. Esta entrevista es en inglés, pero bueno. Well, here it goes.
Hi, Miss Lizi.
Welcome to Lizi te responde en retos femeninos. I'm really happy to share this space and this interview, this talk with you, with the Mexican people that are incredible, and you had the pleasure of meeting them, but not only Mexican people, all the Spanish-speaking people in the world that are going to be so benefited by this talk and everything that you're going to share with us today about breathing and the importance of breathing. So saying that, I want to welcome you and thank you for your time and for sharing this space with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Miss Lizi. It's my pleasure, and I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you. Well, I'm the one that's honored, dear Travis, because I was telling in Spanish the people that blessed me following this show and Retos Femeninos and so many things that I've done, that you're an amazing human being, and that I really admire you as a person, first of all, because I believe you're a good person and that you are naturally good, and that sometimes we ask ourselves if it's the circumstances that make us good, and good not because good or bad exists. It's just, I don't know, those people that, like Mandela said, that there's people that come to this life and leave it worse than how they found it. There's people that come to this life and just leave it the same way. And it's people like you that come to this world to make it better and to help people make it better. And your birth circumstances are so beautiful and interesting, and I want you to share that with the people that are sharing their time with us, which is so valuable. And I also want you to share with us what you're doing. And I'm going to ask you many questions, but now I'm going to shut up in the system and
Okay.
tell us about you, dear
All
Travis.
right. Thank you. So, my name is Travis Steffens. I'm 44 years young, and I've had a full life. And my life started on a ranch in Colorado in the United States. We had 1,200 head of cattle and 2,200 head of sheep. And so it was a pretty big operation. And I was homeschooled so that I could work on the ranch. So from a young age, I was connecting with the planet. I was connecting with animals, and it was a beautiful way to grow up. I'm so grateful for it. And um, we I started my first business at 18 years old, and I got married at 20 years old,
Wow, you started
and
pretty young, those things. And
I did.
you decided not to study college. You decided to go directly into building a business, Travis. How did, because many kids, when they finish high school, decide they want to pursue a career. Why, what a career in the sense of going to college and study something in particular. What was it inside your heart or your soul that told you that that wasn't the road, that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's interesting because the world makes you think that you need to go to school to make something of yourself. But we all have a desire and a spark inside of us that is our highest desire. And oftentimes, I'd say most times, that doesn't involve school. And so I decided not to go to school because I didn't like school. Um, I barely made it through high school. I slept through most of my classes. And so I don't even know if a college would have taken me, to be honest. And so I started the business, and then I sold that business at 26 years old. And we moved up to the big city because I was from a little town. And we moved up to Denver, Colorado. And I started a real estate investment company in Denver, Colorado. And those first 4 years, we bought and sold about 400 single family homes. So we got into pretty high volume right away. And then I got into multifamily. So we would buy apartment buildings, fix them up and sell them. And then we went national. And that's where the real fun started. So I love to teach conscious capitalism. Our The United States was built on capitalism. Capitalism can be so beautiful, but it can also be very destructive. And so I love to teach conscious capitalism, and how we did that was,
Would you define for us
yeah,
what conscious capitalism is for you, and what is it exactly that you teach? Because I think that what you're saying is so, so important, because
awesome.
we're actually unconscious most of the time of so many things, including breathing, that it wouldn't be strange to think that we are unconsciously capitalist and we just normalize that. So can you tell us what conscious capitalism means?
Yes. So let's break down the word real quick. Consciousness is something that most people are not aware of the meaning of the word consciousness. We think it's just I'm conscious, I'm alive, which is true, but awareness is the beginning of consciousness. So when you become aware of your surroundings and everything around you. So now you're aware, but when you become aware of yourself and the internal state of being, and that's where the beginning of consciousness comes in. So consciousness is a heightened state of awareness. And conscious capitalism is becoming heightened and aware of how you do business and how it affects everyone around you. So our definition of conscious capitalism is that when you do business in an area, everyone, voluntary and involuntary, wins. So it's not just one person winning or one genre of people winning, everybody wins. So thank you.
And that you built an incredible company, that you started building, well, you started building in areas of the city that were considered like the most dangerous and with the most amount of people in very living hard situations and in the street. And you even hired these people to help you build amazing buildings that now the people felt proud, because it's like restoring their sense of worth, seeing in maybe like what we considered very horrible or very dirty spaces, a beautiful building that made them remember that they are feeling proud of themselves. Tell us about this incredible business that started when you were 26, right, Travis?
Yeah. So what's interesting is one of my real estate partners, Ralph, joined the call. So I want to give a shout out to Ralph, but he's in Miami. So he was part of a lot of these buildings that we would buy, and we would go into the toughest parts of the nation, and we would buy big properties, 150 units up to 800 units. And we would purchase the property. So that was one arm of the company. Then we had a property management company inside of our company. And then we had a property, then we have a nonprofit that helps that company and helps the individuals increase their consciousness around finances and allows them to take their lives back in their own hands. And then we had a construction company, and our construction company's mission was to hire homeless people. And so we would take people off of the street, we would house them, give them the tools for the trade that they were doing, for the work they were doing, and then we would train them. And so if we took Lizi in, we would give you a place to live, we'd give you, it'd be all furnished, and oftentimes we'd take you, buy you groceries, get everything set up, and then we'd give them medical insurance and dental and all the things that they'd never had before. And then we would take you in and we would figure out one phase of construction that you would do. So let's say you hang doors. So hanging doors was going to be Lizi's thing. And so we would teach you how to hang doors, and that was your job for the entire project. So you'd get very, very good and become a master at hanging doors. And they would make $120 to $240 a day. So then we would help them manage their money. And we were teaching them how to get back on their feet. So we would do vision boards. We would teach them breath work. That's where the breath work came from. And we had all kinds of programs to help them heal. And we had an 80% success rate of them rejoining society successfully.
Wow. 80%.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, but it's incredible to think you could help not only those many people, but their families as well. Because when they got better and felt happier, and it's so symbolic, building a building, which is the same thing as rebuilding themselves.
Yeah.
It was rebuilding a building when it actually was at the same time helping them rebuild themselves and not just the building. And that is so cool. But you also did something that's very interesting, which you told me about. That's why I wanted to interview you and share all of this with the amazing people that follow us. And it's going to stay here so many people can see it.
Yes.
Because we need to talk about the app, and we need to talk that it's, amigas y amigos, el app, sorry for interrupting so badly, pero el app que ha creado este hombre maravilloso yo lo conocí porque vino a México a un evento muy importante en Santa Fe, porque lo va a hacer para las personas que hablan español. O sea, esta app ya está y está en muchísimos países, ahorita lo va a contar, pero ahora él reúne a maestros, a los maestros más importantes de respiración en habla hispana para esta app. Y pues imagínense, esto es como la primicia de lo que va a suceder y por supuesto que van a ver, está muy cañón lo que pasa con la respiración, pero está muy interesante que conozcan este hombre. Bueno, seguimos platicando. Sorry, I was updating and telling our friends that the app is very soon going to be in Mexico. You're starting in Mexico. It's not just going to be Mexico. It's going to be all the Spanish-speaking countries, and that be aware because it's going to soon happen, and that's so cool. Again, we need to talk about the importance of breathing and the importance of the app, but this is very important too because I'm sure that the people that are sharing their time with us have felt more than once that you've fallen in different ways. It could be your health, like it happened to me, or it could be your finances, like it's also happened to me in other moments. Or it could be your love life that you suddenly feel that it breaks you totally down, which I've been there too. And I think of the importance of all these healing techniques that you needed to study to be able to share with these people. And I'm sure you share them because it's what I do. Whatever gets to my hands, and that's why we're talking today, or to my life that I consider can make it better, I will definitely try it. And that's my invitation to you because I'm not there yet because I just started since I met Travis, like, what is it, Trav? Like
A month ago.
A month ago.
Yeah.
And I was super sick. And I'm sure he's going to ask me in this interview if breathing worked for me to heal faster. And I'm going to answer you guys and tell you what happened, not what I have. So yes, we all feel sometimes we're super down, and few people look around to say, I'm going to help you out. And you actually did for all these people. So it's a perfect example of conscious capitalism because everybody was winning, but you did something that was very important. You worked on this to the bottom of it, which means DNA, which means being able to codify. And I really don't understand this part. And it's like a question that kept on going around in my head since I met you. How is it that you were able to get the bottom things of what teachers like Bruce Lipton and which I trained with him. Yes. I'm having a mind absence, but whatever. You got to the bottom of their own studies on meditation and reprogramming. And you taught these homeless people or ex-homeless people that too. Can you share a little bit of this? Because this is like super cool neuroscience, and I think it's amazing that we can change all of it. Change is from inside out, even though some outside things help, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the outside things can make a big difference. So we call that our environment. And the beautiful thing about our bodies is they're meant to be whole. They're meant to be well, and we're not meant to die. And we're actually not meant to age. Aging is a fallacy. And so the reason why we believe in aging is because we see it with these eyes, their sensors, and we hear it with these ears. If you were not programmed that you have to age, you simply wouldn't age because it's a fallacy. And so Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton, they talk about the environment. And so your environment is extremely important to the health of your body, because if the environment is a death or sickly environment, the cells will eventually take on that environment. But cells, and we're made up of 55 trillion cells that are in a healthy environment will always gravitate towards health. And so when we were helping these homeless individuals, the first thing we had to do was remove them from the environment that would remind them that they're homeless. So when they wake up underneath a bridge, the moment they open their eyes, soul comes back into the body from sleep, and they recognize the.
I'm losing you, Trav. Well, we just got disconnected, but
Can you hear me?
I'm starting to hear you, but you were, let's see. No, I think you're not, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd I lose you?
No, so.
Still not.
Now we're doing like diving instructions. No, how's the sound?
No. Can you
Like,
hear me now?
yeah.
Now? Okay. All right.
Good.
All right. Hopefully that sticks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I was saying was that the important part is the environment. Did you catch all that?
Yep. And I wanted to interrupt you, but now that it was interrupted by the universe, I need to ask you something, because these homeless people were blessed by having you to change their environment. But sometimes I have to be like super honest and real, that how many people would love to change their environment and they don't live in a healthy environment, and they're gonna have to stay in that environment, unfortunately, until they become more conscious that they can actually change their lives. And then be super brave and do it. Because one thing is thinking about it and being conscious about it, and then being conscious about being conscious, which means doing like the natural changes, but it's really hard for many people. So, and it's really hard for many people to even think that they can change where they live, or maybe they're, let's put an example. I work a lot in Mexico with women that have been psychologically or physically abused. And these women are convinced, I swear they're convinced, and they're convinced they cannot get out because something already happened inside that broke them. And they don't know how to repair this, so they're super afraid. And even though they could change their circumstances, they prefer to stay. And not prefer because they prefer, it's because they are so scared even to move, to breathe, that they'll stay there, even if it's awful, and there's an outside better. So many people, it's hard for them because of their circumstances, economy, for example, the poor spaces they live, to change. So how can you be healthier or better when you can't change the circumstances, but you can change yourself, which I think is as valid until you're able to change the circumstances outside. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a good point. So you start with the small things, and because oftentimes you're so engulfed in pain and you're so engulfed in the circumstance that it's nearly impossible to see yourself whole or see yourself healthy. So you start with very small things. And so a trick that I'll give everybody is, a lot of people talk about being wealthy. They want more money. And so when you're in a place where you don't have any money, it's very hard to sit down and pretend like you have money, because you can't fool the universe. So a trick is to say, I want to be wealthy. And then you ask yourself, why do I want to be wealthy? Well, I want to be wealthy because I want to feel what it feels like to go to the store and buy whatever I want. I want to be wealthy because I want to feel what it feels like to be able to book a plane ticket to anywhere in the world. I want to be wealthy because I want to feel what it feels like to buy gifts for my kids. And I want to feel what it feels like. And see, that starts to raise your vibration, just thinking about why you want to do something. I want to be healthy because I want to be able to run. I want to be healthy because I want to be able to smile and know that I am whole. And you start talking about the feeling state that goes along with your desire. And those thoughts send out a vibration to the universe, and that vibration has to start creation. It's an unerring machine. It's a promise. And so the more you do that trick, the more stuff will show up in your life that will allow your circumstance to change.
Wow. And you taught this to the homeless. And I want to know how you taught it to them.
Yeah,
How to teach to be this, to connect, and it's like a ping pong. Well, as you explained it, it sounded like you send them as a jump. No, it was this game. Maybe you weren't even born, but it was like the first things that appeared, and it's a little ball that it just came back. So it's so cool. It comes back directly to you. Yeah. Cool.
That's beautiful. So we used to teach that method, but we did vision boards. Vision boards are also a powerful tool. So if you're not healthy and you want to get well, you want to put pictures all around of wellness that represents wellness to you, so that you start to feed these sensors called eyes with health. If you want to become wealthy, you want to put things that represent wealth to you all over the place so that you can feed these sensors. So we would do vision boards with them, and working with them and allowing them to earn money and build money. So like energy attracts like energy. So to save even a little bit of money and know that you have money, that money will attract more money and more money and more money and more money. It's kind of how it works. And we also built a software system that would combat self-sabotage. And self-sabotage.
Okay.
Is a big one.
Superman now. Explain that to me, because who can teach actually, like, feed like a pill, like the anti-sabotage pill. That's super cool. No, I need to.
Yeah. So we
try this pill and see if it works. And I'm sure many friends that are with us today want to take this pill to see if it works. So how does that work?
So I built a software company, and we built a construction software that's a very advanced system, and it's built with algorithms in it to combat self-sabotage. And we all have programs of self-sabotage in ourselves. And one of the things that allowed me to build these programs into the system was becoming conscious of myself and realizing that I have self-sabotage behaviors. Then I could put checkpoints in the software that would allow them to go through a self-sabotaging behavior without even knowing that they went through it. And so what we call it is accidentally succeeding. And so they would come in and they would, let's say they're doing baseboards. Everybody know what baseboards are. They go around the bottom of your wall. And so Ralph is putting in baseboards, and we quality can.
Remember, my first language is not English. Here I am speaking English with you.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm like attentive.
So let's use windows. So let's say Ralph's putting in windows.
Okay.
And most people will just put Ralph in a room with 5 windows and tell Ralph to put in all those windows. And they'll come back, and Ralph at some point will have messed up, and then they'll get upset at him, and then he'll get upset at him, and then the self-sabotage will start, and then he falls down. And so what we did is we built algorithms into the software that build processes and systems to where Ralph follows a process, and then Ralph gets quality control checked every 5 minutes on the process. So there's one person that's ahead over 7 people, and that one person is in Ralph's face every 5 minutes. And so what it's doing is it's taking his ego mind and it's keeping it focused on the work so that the self-sabotage doesn't have time to set in. And then next thing you know, Ralph's done putting in 5 windows and he finished that unit, and he steps back and the software pops up an invoice, shows him he just made $120 and shows him that he succeeded. And the dopamines then start to set in. And then when the dopamines run that Ralph succeeded, he now starts a cellular healing process where his cells are actually taking on a new vibration for a new Ralph. And if he does that for a long enough period of time, then the body takes over and he becomes a new human, new person.
And how does this software work? Like how do you measure all of it? How do you measure it?
Well, the software is not something that goes on the body. It's a construction software. And so they use their phone and it teaches them how to install a window. And it walks them through a very specific process. And that process has indicators that come back to us to let us know if Ralph is stuck or if he's messing up.
So
and
buy these and put them in their phone, or
yeah,
this one
software.
Really?
It's called.
And what's it called?
It's called Sidewinder. And if anybody wants to know more about the software, they can message me on Instagram just directly. But the software is the only reason we had the success with the homeless, because to heal, you have to have a very streamlined process. It's very hard to heal in an uncertain environment. And so we have to give a disciplined environment. So the software allowed us to do that. And then,
can people that are in a horrible environment use the software and heal if they can't change their environment immediately?
Well, the software, they can use breath work, they can use the breath app, but the software is really designed for construction. So if you were going to remodel your house, you would use the software to remodel your house. And it's designed for you to hire unskilled workforce and then teach them the skill that they need. And it automatically combats self-sabotage in the software.
That's pretty cool. Hey, let's talk about breathing.
Yeah.
Because it's something we do every day. I mean, I talk like for hours, but the truth is I want to talk about breathing now, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to talk about the breathing app.
Yep.
I want to talk about this amazing work you've been doing with breathe masters all around the world and putting them together. And also sometimes breathe teaching is not like that well paid. So this amazing app that I already have it in my phone, and I'm going to show you guys the app in my phone. It's also a win-win. It's also part of this incredible organic method, beautiful conscious method of seeing wealth for everybody. So why is breathing so important? Let me start by the most dumb
Awesome.
And why is breathing so important? Because when I met you and just made me conscious, let me tell you, I don't think I'm the only one that is sitting right here and hearing this program or watching us and saying, oh my God, it's the first time I actually think about the importance of breathing, because that happened to me and I told you. And I told you why I think I forgot about being conscious of breathing, because I had stopped breathing at 21 months old when my mom. So why is it so important to start actually being conscious of breathing? Well,
the app is called The Breath Source, if anybody wants to download it while we're on this. The breathing and the reason why we created The Breath Source.
An amazing app. I love it. It's beautiful. Nobody tried downloading it right now while you talk to us.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it a lot. A lot.
Yeah, so The Breath Source was designed to bring awareness to breath work. And the breath is so important. It's the first thing we do when we enter the planet, and it's the last thing we do when we leave. He took his first breath. he took his last breath. And breath, in my opinion, is source. It's God. It's the universe. Your body's made of 99 to the 14th power of empty space. Air is made of empty space, but when empty space meets empty space, it keeps it alive. And so the only thing that can contribute to that is consciousness. And so consciousness is all of that empty space. And consciousness meeting consciousness is God meeting God's self. So Lizi being God, the air being source, it's God meeting God's self, and it's designed to heal. And so when we can get the mind out of the way, the body will heal. That's what it's designed to do. And breath work is a very powerful modality to get the mind out of the body and allow the body to heal through the breath. And what it does, and to keep it as simple as I can, it raises the alkalinity of the body. And in an alkaline environment, you can't have disease. And so that's one method of it. The second method is it reprograms the nervous system. And most people struggle with anxiety, stress, depression. They have all kinds of things they're battling. And breath work handles them all. It takes care of all of those things in a matter of minutes, as you have seen, Miss Lizi.
I'm not sure it's the only thing, my dear. You think I healed? It was a tough year because I met you when I was like getting ready for the final rounds of a very important. It wasn't important. I mean, thank God it was just something painful. Yeah. But you started me in the breathe work. You did the first breathe work. Like I breathed for the first time. No, actually. Yeah. Conscious of breathing with you. You taught me. And it was super cool. That's why I'm doing this space or sharing this space with you, because I'm not sure it super healed me, but I can definitely tell you that I feel, and I'm just feeling every day so much better. So yes, I think breathing definitely helped, but I kept my promise. I did your reset, your 2-minute reset, which I think it lasts less than 2 minutes, or it goes so fast. Yeah. I've done it every day, almost every day, but I would say every day, almost. And you know what? It's really cool. I mean, now don't do it, but I haven't done more. That's the truth. I have not done more, but I can't because the app is amazing. It's super cool. So tell me, what else does breathing consciously help? It helps stress. It helps people with all types of emotional distress, which is one of the main, sadly, it's one of the main, being a mental health professional. I would say that right now, after all this COVID thing, so many people are feeling emotionally ill and physically ill too, economically ill. So this breathe work, can you tell us all the benefits of downloading your app is going to do? Like what are the benefits? I mean, why do I say downloading your app? I say that because it's the only way you can really try or go to a space where you can find a super professional breathe master and do it. But if that's not your capacity, this breathing app reunites more than 18 breathing masters in the world, and you can do it in your app. So all the benefits.
Yes. So anxiety, depression, sleep, stress, and again, and sickness. So I've had quite a few stage 4 cancer patients that have cured their cancer in 2 weeks, as little as 2 weeks. The cancer
because you're also a coach, right?
Huh?
You're also a personal coach.
I do, yeah. coach people that are experiencing challenges like that, and help them step back into their wholeness, because health is our birthright, and I just have a way of helping people get back to health. And so
Well,
I've seen it.
Those words, those exact words that I would like you to repeat.
Yeah.
Remember when I texted you one day and I told you, these words have gone round and round and round in my head so many times, which is feeling healthy is your birthright.
Yeah.
And it was like the second aha moment in like the 30 minutes we had been talking, and for sure me talking more than you. But the few things you said were, and I invite you guys that are sharing your time with us to acknowledge what Travis just said. It's breathing is the first thing we do and the last thing we do in this life, at least. And being conscious of breathing can help you with mental illness and with physical illness. And you also said that breathing helped you connect with the God that lives inside all of us, right?
Yep. It's a very spiritual practice, and a lot of people talk about ayahuasca and plant medicines. Wachuma, peyote, all those plant medicines are a gateway to the spirit realm, and breath work.
It's a way to connect.
It is.
And it has been some people that have experienced it, that I consider there's interesting studies in relation to it. You know what I always think, and maybe I can be totally hired. I mean, unhired. I don't know. Nobody hires me, but I hire myself. But I have to say what I think, and what I think is that whatever people or whatever, because I've met incredible people that have been able to start being more conscious through what you just said. So for me, do it whatever way you want. If it's upside down, do it.
Yeah.
If it's counting daisies, just do it.
Yeah.
If it's with breathing with it, I think it's super cool. Just do it. So try it. What else is it for you?
So it takes you into that deep spiritual realm, and it actually accesses DMT, dimethyltryptamine, in your body. And the pineal gland holds very small amounts, but a very powerful amount of dimethyltryptamine. And DMT is designed to separate the soul from the body. And so it gives you an opportunity to access that molecule. And they call it the God molecule for a reason. And there's a lot of reasons. We could go into that later. But that accessing that allows you to connect to spirit. It allows you to connect to source, and allows you to heal on a rapid level, both on a spiritual realm and a physical realm, because all problems at the end of the day is a spiritual problem, and everything can be solved through that route. And I'm not talking religion, I'm talking spirituality, you understanding you as the God that you are.
Thank you. My God says hi to your God.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love the reflection.
Yes, it is beautiful. And like, to access this, as a teacher that you are in breathing and a coach in life, like, how many minutes would a person need to actually cut? I mean, we breathe all the time. But let's say, like me, that I have never done it. I mean, I think I know the answer because you gave it to me, but I want all the people that are with us to have like an answer, because it's like when I help people, I would love to tell you that I'm a meditation teacher, but I'm not. The only thing I do is like make something that so many people think is so hard, so easy, And I just ask them to do it 2 minutes, just because they trust me, just because I'm saying, do it, try it. Just for me, for a month, 2 minutes. And you know, so many have trusted what I'm telling them, and they just do it 2 minutes. Then they see themselves doing it more, but they did it 2 minutes, and now they can't stop doing it because it became a habit, and that's something you can learn. Everybody can learn how to do, right?
Yes.
Because we have amazing books. I love one of them that my son gave me, The Atomic Habits. It's like if you don't know how to incorporate a habit or take one out, it's because you can learn. But please tell us. So if I want to change my life because I believe you,
well,
how many minutes do we have to consciously breathe?
So as you said, we all breathe all day long every day, but oftentimes we're breathing poorly. So you'll see me talk and then I'll stop and I'll breathe through my nose. And the most important...
Remember I told you?
Yeah.
But I was making a fishy question at you. And I remember you breathe before you answered. And I told you breathe before you answered.
Yeah.
You were breathing in motion, yeah.
I stop and I close my mouth and I breathe through my nose. And the most important thing to understand about the physiology of breath work is breathing through the nose. The nose is very, very, very important. It's not just a hole on your face. And so when you, the mouth is meant to eat and it's meant to speak. It's not meant to breathe through. And even when you're working out and you're running, you need to retrain yourself to breathe through your nose because you get nasal oxide, which is known as nitric oxide as well. And that nitric oxide goes into the lungs. It brings the blood from the lower portion of the lungs to the upper portion of the lung. And it allows for what's called proper gas transfer. Because just breathing in oxygen is not the key. It needs to have another molecule called nitric oxide. And it also needs another molecule called carbon dioxide. So you have to have nitric oxide, carbon dioxide, and oxygen to be able to get energy to the tissues of the body and throughout the blood of the body. Your blood levels of oxygen could be 100%, 99.9%, but your tissue oxygenation can be very low because you're not breathing through the nose. Wow. So the nose is the very first thing. Then if you want to get into more benefits of breath work, I recommend doing 10 minutes of breath work a day. There's a lot of breath work sessions on the app. Kitaro just joined, and he has amazing breath sessions in the app. And a lot of his breath sessions are around 10 minutes, and I love his stuff.
What's his name?
Kitaro.
¿Me pasas mi teléfono? I'm talking to Gaby. Okay, so I'm gonna... Here we go. I want to show my friends, and I mean, I'm sure your friends know the app, but I'm going to show mine.
Yes, show them.
So let me show the app. It's super cool. I really like the design. And this looks like a commercial, but no, the truth is, people that know me know that when I talk about something I like, it's because I really think it's super cool, and I want them to have it. So this is the app. Look how cool it is. Now, if you do this way, so start here, and it explains, this is super cool. I like the story you and your partner shared. For him, creating this app meant something very important, and because breathing saved his life. He was having a very difficult sickness, and I really liked his story because I don't know why you got directly into breathing. I would like to know that, breathing in particular. But I mean, it changed his life, his health, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it did. That's Josh. Yeah. It's healed a tremendous amount of people. It's
what?
It's healed tremendous amount of people. It's incredibly healing. And that's why it's catching on so much, is because it fixes so many things.
Look. It has like the breathing source, this introduction, has the fundamentals, the breathe with us. And this is super cool because it's like a trial, right? is there like a type of trial, which I think is really interesting?
Yep.
But it breed masters, all of these from all the world. How many countries do you have breed masters? All of these. Here.
So I wanted, yeah.
But he puts himself, he was in last place. Now he's like in the 12th place because you're very cool.
Thank you.
And then
so
you breathe multiverse. Well, now you explain. That's it. This is the app. It's
yeah, the breath multiverse is people from all over the world and businesses as well. And then we also have breath minutes. So if you only have 1 to 5 minutes, you can go in there and any video you click on is going to be 1 to 5 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So they're categorized. And then we have live classes starting next month. You'll be able to just log in like you are now. All these people are logging in here and watching. You'll be able to log into a live class just like you do on Instagram. And they'll be going all around all times so that people can log in at any time.
That's so cool.
Yep.
And you're also doing it in Spanish, right?
We are, yeah. So we've got some Spanish breath masters pulled together from all over the Latin parts of the world, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Peru.
And I'm interview them all because if it's so cool, I imagine each teacher. You chose the teacher. I mean, it's not choosing, but you interviewed all your teachers, and it's teachers that have even been your teachers, right? Because we all teach each other.
They were all my teachers. Yeah, I learned from all of them before I went on my journey and built the app.
So cool, so cool. So, well, what else would you like to share with us? Because I think we've gone like for an hour. But,
well, I'm just very grateful.
Yeah, called invite our friends to everything you want.
It's called The Breath Source. The Breath Source. And when the Spanish app comes out, it'll be named Source. So that'll be what it's named.
Source. Wow. That's beautiful. What an incredible thing. And when are we having the app in Spanish? Because I'm sure all our friends, all my friends, that I have an amazing from Argentina and in Colombia, which I'm Colombian, and from Peru, from everywhere. And they're going to be and from Spain, from everywhere. They're going to be so happy with the app.
Yeah, so we're going to launch that hopefully in August. And we're looking for investors now to help us with that app. So if there's anybody that wants to partake in that, please direct message me. But we plan on launching that in August.
That's so cool.
All Spanish, 100% Spanish words, Spanish speaking people. It'll be the culture. That's what we want it to be. We want the Spanish culture to get to be partaking in Spanish breath work by a Spanish master.
And for example, well, I think that's so cool because of something you said, and that's why I consider that you should share this video with some of your possible investors, because if I were to invest, I would definitely invest in something that today is considered like the number one life changer.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also invest in a human being that is very congruent with what he's doing. And I would always invest also in somebody that is making something like meditation so simple, quote, so accessible to people that maybe can't do it or can't afford going to a breathing class, for example. But you want the best teacher, maybe you can't afford going to Netherlands to get yourself the teaching with some masters. I don't know, but this makes it good for everybody. It's a win-win, and this is definitely going to grow, and this is going to grow to many other things. So if I were an investor, I would definitely invest in it, and maybe we can get some Mexican investors.
Yes.
Speaking out.
That would
Two,
be
right?
fabulous. Yes, yes.
Oh, buenísimo. Pues,
Awesome.
thank you.
Oh, Lizzie, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. You'll
You
try
as
this.
well.
Tell us again. I'm gonna put your Instagram, but please share us your Instagram and share us your webpage or share us whatever you want to share. Where can
Yeah.
we see you?
So we have two Instagrams. We have The Breath Source. It's just all one word on Instagram, and then Travis.Steffens. And that's Steffens. Travis.Steffens is my Instagram.
Okay, well, there you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lizzie. All the love.
All the love to you.
Thanks
Thank you.
for everybody that joined.
Have a good one.
You too.
Pues ya hemos terminado la entrevista con Travis. Ya muy pronto, mis queridas amigas y amigos, les voy a compartir cuando sale el app The Breath Source, que en español se va a llamar Source, y ya los mantendré súper al tanto y ojalá que esto y que todas las entrevistas que tengo les sirvan para ser cada día más felices y estar mejor. Así que muchas gracias
Adiós.
por su tiempo. Compartan este video. Share this live with Travis. It's gonna help many people.
Yes.
God bless. Gracias. Namaste.
Gracias. Adiós. Bye.